Is it possible that this year's Duke team is better than the one we saw go to the Final Four last season with Cooper Flagg and Con Knipple and all 5 of their starters being drafted in the same year to the NBA? There is a case for it, and this is it. This Blue Devil team, while not more talented than the one we saw a year ago, they are tougher. Mental toughness was the Achilles heel for the team that made it to San Antonio and ended up losing, ending up falling short of their goal. They played last year's team 5 games the entire season decided by 6 points or fewer. 5 games decided by 2 possessions or fewer. Their record in those games, 1-4. That reared its ugly head before God and the world in the worst possible spot, the Final Four. It was an all-time collapse against Houston the last few minutes of that game. As we kind of learned with Michigan last night, Duke winning that game, they're the presumed number 1 team in the country when Monday rolls around with the latest AP poll. As we kind of learned with Michigan, sometimes it's hard to learn and grow as a team when you're winning by a ton. They won 11 in a row going into D.C. by an average margin of 16 points per win. And when it became a 1-point game, the Wolverines didn't look nearly as comfortable as Duke did. After last season's nightmare, Jon Scheyer said that he immediately went back to the tape and rewatched. Some coaches don't. Lowest moment will burn the tape. He went back to it saying he wanted to learn from it. And what he came away with, a stronger emphasis on late game execution, a stronger emphasis on equipping his guys, making sure they're prepared. And what we've seen this year is a stark contrast from a year ago. Duke's 5-2 in games decided by 2 possessions or fewer. 1-4 last year, 5-2 this year. 6-2 if it's 7 points or fewer, which is why here was Jon Scheyer emotionally interjecting during his press conference. An unrelated question was asked, but he had to get it out talking about this subject.
I just have to say, for me, it's amazing. These guys have won a lot of close games, too. They've won a lot of close games. These guys have been studs in their games. They have such toughness, and so I think there's a complete misperception. We're not going to be perfect. We're not going to win every game, but these guys have won close games, big games. They've gone leads, they've kept leads, and we're going to keep growing and learning with that.
He has used his non-conference schedule, including last night, to test his team every way possible. He knows that in the NCAA tournament, you play Thursday and then Saturday, or Friday and then Sunday. So he schedules non-conference home games 2 days apart so that he can simulate an NCAA tournament prep. Look at what he did early in the year. They were the only ACC team to schedule a high major opponent in game 1. Neutral site against Texas, not a gimme. A road game, a true road game in week 2. Earliest road game ever for Duke. A holiday game, Arkansas in Chicago, Thanksgiving night. They went to Michigan State. They're facing a top 5 Michigan team in the middle of conference play in February. That's not ideal. And this probably speaks more to how insane Jon Scheyer is with the details. Part of the agreement with Michigan, both Nike schools, is that Duke would agree to play the game if Michigan agreed to use a Wilson NCAA tournament ball in yesterday's game. To use a Wilson ball rather than a Nike ball. Why? Because that's, again, what they use in the tournament. And here's the thing. I wouldn't put it past John that he scheduled a game in D.C. knowing that an East Regional host this year is D.C. That an East Regional is going to be in that building, and maybe Duke can play in that building during the regular season knowing they might be back a month later. But there are intangible factors to like this team too. Cam Boozer, he is the National Player of the Year. Duke's going to have back-to-back National Player of the Year winners. That hasn't happened since Duke did it in 01-02 with Shane Battier and Jay Williams. But we saw last night, sometimes it's better to have the best player in the sport than having the best team. Michigan might have been the best team, but the best player cooked up the best defense metrically in college basketball. 18, 10, and 7 for Cam Boozer. Just couldn't be stopped. Dominant rebounding edge against the Michigan Wolverines. And Cam Boozer was the guy who facilitated all of that. He is a special, special player. And Duke also showed itself to be the best defense in college basketball, too. So if you're looking for specific reasons why Duke might be better than what they were a year ago, look at how they play in close games, how much more mentally tough they are. And Cam Boozer's flexibility, they got another National Player of the Year. And their defense might be better than they were a year ago.